Most men are afraid of being alone, not because they lack people, but because silence exposes what they have been running from. If there is no noise, no messages, no validation, there is only you. And many men don't like what they hear when everything goes quiet. They fill their time. They chase attention. They stay busy, not because they are driven, but because solitude feels like a threat. Strong men see it differently. They don't escape solitude. They use it. Look around. Modern life is loud, always connected, always reacting. A message left on read, a relationship that fades, friends who disappear when you stop reaching out, work that never really ends. You feel pressure to stay visible, to stay relevant, to prove something. And when that external noise disappears, a strange discomfort appears. Loneliness, restlessness, a sense that something is missing. Most men interpret that feeling as weakness, as failure, as something to fix immediately. So they distract themselves. They scroll. They talk more than they should. They chase approval from people who don't respect them. Not because they want to, because they don't know how to sit still with themselves. Here is the real conflict: emotion versus control. Impulse versus restraint. When you are alone, emotions surface. Regret, anger, fear, desire. Most men react to these emotions. They act them out. They express them too quickly. They send messages they shouldn't send. They send. They return to situations that already cost them their dignity. They explain themselves to people who are not listening. They confuse expression with strength. But expression without control is not strength. It is exposure. Solitude forces you to face what you feel without an audience. And that is where most men break. They don't want to feel uncertain, so they seek reassurance. They don't want to feel powerless, so they try to control others. And every time they do, they lose control of themselves. There is a moment most men remember clearly. A quiet evening, a phone that doesn't ring, a room that feels too empty. That is the moment they reach for something, anything. But a strong man pauses, not because he feels nothing, but because he understands something most men don't. Emotions are information, not commands. You don't have to obey every feeling. You don't have to explain every pain. You don't have to escape every discomfort. Solitude teaches this lesson better than any book or speech. Because in solitude, there is no performance, no image to protect, no one to impress, only responsibility. The shift happens quietly, not as motivation, not as a breakthrough moment, more like a realization. You begin to see that loneliness is not the enemy. Dependence is. Needing others to regulate your mood, needing attention to feel alive, needing noise to avoid your own thoughts. Solitude removes those crutches, and at first it feels harsh, unforgiving, cold, but over time something changes. Your thoughts slow down, your reactions weaken, your need to explain yourself fades. You stop asking, why don't they care? And start asking, what do I control? Your time, your actions, your standards, nothing else. This is where strength forms, not in isolation from the world, but in independence from it. You begin to choose silence over argument, distance over attachment, patience over impulse, not because you are afraid to speak, but because you no longer need to. Solitude sharpens judgment. It removes emotional clutter. You notice how often you used to react just to feel something, how often you mistook attention for connection, how often you compromised your values to avoid being alone. That awareness is uncomfortable, but it is clean. And clean pain is better than distracted decay. The climax is not dramatic, it is calm. You sit alone one day, and it no longer feels heavy. The room is quiet. Your mind is steady. There is no urge to check your phone. No need to reach out. No pressure to prove anything. You feel present, contained, whole, not because life is perfect, but because you are no longer fighting yourself. This is where self-respect returns. You stop chasing people who don't choose you. You stop explaining boundaries. You stop negotiating your worth, not out of bitterness, out of clarity. Solitude taught you that your value does not increase when someone pays attention, and it does not decrease when they leave. Strong men understand something simple. If you cannot stand being alone, you will always accept less than you deserve. You will tolerate disrespect. You will cling to unstable relationships. You will stay in environments that drain you, because fear of solitude is fear of self. But once you are comfortable alone, you become dangerous in a quiet way. You are no longer rushed, no longer reactive, no longer desperate. You choose carefully. You speak less. You observe more. People feel it, not because you announce it, but because calm has weight. This is the lesson. Strength does not come from dominating others. It comes from governing yourself. Solitude is not absence. It is training. It teaches restraint, patience, emotional discipline. It teaches you to carry your own weight, to process pain without spreading it, to act with intention instead of impulse. Most men fear solitude because it removes their excuses. Strong men use it because it removes their illusions. When you can sit alone without needing anything, you move through the world with quiet authority. Not loud, not aggressive, not desperate, just grounded. And that is real power.